He has that one, no decision. See it here, Dylan, talking about this Alcorn State Braves, this squad. You look at their team batting average, it's actually better than Southeastern's team batting average, but those numbers are a little skewed a little bit, considering how well Southeastern hits for power. For example, Schwarber himself has more home runs, or as many home runs as Alcorn State's entire team, 12 home runs.
Yeah, like you said, they're not really a power team, but they have for average. And they're a veteran lineup. They only have one sophomore in their lineup. There's no freshmen. The rest are juniors and seniors, so very veteran lineup. So it should be interesting to see how they do against this left-hander for Southeastern.
Not a lot of transfer players as well, as here's Robinson delivering the first pitch of the game. That's low on the way there. This is Wallace Rios Jimenez. He's having a good season so far. He's batting .351 for this Braves squad. 39 hits on this season.
He leads the team in walks, and in the starting lineup, he has 28 walks on the season, and the next closest is 9. So he's very patient at the plate.
See it there again. Testing that patience out early is Pate Robinson.
You see that out of good leadoff hitters. They're very patient. See what the pitcher is throwing. See how their pitches are going. The first inning of the game, I would say. And that's why he's so good at it.
He is definitely one of the best in the SWAC, that's for sure.
His on base percentage is almost at 500 on the year. Just look right there. 5-pitch walk.
And that's going to take his consecutive on-base game streak to 33 consecutive games getting on base. Heading into this game, that was leading the SWAC. Next up now is Nicholas Hayes Saltaire, number 2 in the lineup. Cold strike there.
This is only his 8th game started of the year. Hitting .281, 9 hits on the season, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs.
One of the few junior college transfers on the team. Still that one missed high. Came from Southeast Community College. Helped lead them to a regional championship in 2015.
Big swing and a miss there. Throughout the first two batters, Robinson struggled to look like a little on his command, so we'll see if he's able to settle down a little after giving that leadoff walk.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. First out of the ball game for Pate Robinson. Sitting down, Hayes Saltaire. That brings us to 1 out now. Runner on first base. Walter Vives heads to the plate, batting .281 on the season. From Dorado, Puerto Rico. Several Puerto Rican-born players on this Alcorn State team. See that there? He fouls it out of play.
He leads the team in hits, and he's the only player on the team to have started every game this season.
Here's the windup now. Shot up the middle. Couldn't quite handle it there as the shortstop.
Just under the glove there from Bro. Bro struggled a little bit last year fielding at shortstop. He had a good bit of errors actually on the team, so he worked all offseason to be able to make the plays like that, but as you see right there, that one just slipped right under the glove.
Just a little too much for Bro to handle. That's going to put runners on first and second now, 1 out. Here in the top of the first inning. Tonight's I should say, student promotion was Pack the Pat. I believe it was the first, 200 students got a finals study bag. The Southeastern Sound here tonight, not as fleshed out as they normally are, but
everyone's studying for those
exactly.
finals.
It's coming up.
Only a few weeks left of school, but you know sometimes you need a break from homework. So definitely a nice day for a baseball game.
Beautiful day for some baseball. He misses in the turf there. 1 ball, 1 strike on Vivez. Senior out of Montverde Academy in Orlando, Florida. He played for the Puerto Rico national team. He's rated a top 500 in the nation after hitting for a 320 average, and he cranks one right there. It's deep. It's deep.
It's gone.
Off the top of the fence, and it is gone. That's going to be a home run off of Pate Robinson, a 3-run shot. They round the bases. He's going to touch them all.
Definitely a big way to start the game for Alcorn State. Get up to a quick 3-0 lead here. Only 1 out on the top of the first. And this is definitely not the way, if you're a Southeastern fan, to start this game. Because the mentality was every game is important. Don't overlook any opponent. And now they find themselves down 3-0 in the top of the first.
Right off the bat.
That's a good play there for Peyton Robinson. I know that for a pitcher, that's actually a tough play to run off the mound like that, pick it bare hand, and throw it, because a pitcher is so used to throwing, say, between 80 and 90 miles an hour, to throw on a soft underhand or overhand throw to first base, it could be actually difficult. So it's definitely a good play there to get the second out of the inning.
Very good play by Robinson there to get that second out. Trying to calm down after giving up that big 3-run homer. Up to bat is DerVincent Hamilton. Batting .286 on the season. A shot out to deep right field. He's using his glove to block out the sun, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So Southeastern finds himself down early in this one, 3-0. We'll be right back with Southeastern Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field, and if you weren't awake yet, this woke you up. You see it there, Vivez with a 3-run home run. That's his first home run of the season, and Southeastern finds himself down early in this one, 3-0. He touches them all there. Ryan Byers for Southeastern come up to the plate here to start things off for him.
Yeah, the senior center fielder, he's actually playing center field tonight. Normally the right fielder. He actually has 7 leadoff home runs this year, which is a lot of power from a leadoff hitter. 25 RBIs. Slugging percentage over 500.
You look at the slugging percentage just for this team. It is crazy. These guys head for power. Some of the best in the country when it comes to that.
It'll be interesting to see how this high slugging percentage lineup faces against Reginald Johnson, actually, who has a 7.89 ERA with 29 innings pitched. He has 45 hits given up. So it should be interesting.
Reginald Johnson has definitely struggled so far in this season. So Byers there chipped that one out of play.
One of Johnson's main problem is that, like we said, with 29 innings pitched, he has 21 walks. So his command, he struggles with his command a little bit.
Seems to be struggling with quite a lot. Even still, this Alcorn State team sits at 4th place in the SWAC, only a game out of 3rd. They got a big series against Alabama A&M this upcoming weekend, a 3-game series. Probably going to decide who takes 3rd place in that conference. It's Johnson now.
3 high fastballs.
You talked about the struggle with the command. You've seen it so far in this batter. Start things off. A crank there. That is high. Let's see if it can get out, and it won't. The left fielder's... Oh! He had issues with it. Byers is gunning for 3rd, and he gets there.
That is a very tough play, actually, for the left fielder because that is the only spot in the ballpark where there's actually shade.
That was Dervinson Hamilton. He just couldn't quite get around on that one.
Definitely looked like he had it for a while. He might have just lost it when the ball went from the sun to
the shade. That's a great point.
A big change to the lineup as you see Brennan Bro come up here for the Southeastern Lions. Brennan Bro has been hitting around 9th in the lineup all season long. He has a struggling bat, but in the past few weeks, I would say when we were talking about the stretch where they went like 5-5, he's actually hitting pretty well. Against Saturday when they played Nichols, Southeastern only had 1 hit through 9 innings, and he was the only guy that had a hit.
There's a shot to right. That might drop. A circus act right there doesn't pay off. Juggling it about, he just couldn't seem to get a handle on it, and just like that, Southeastern's on the board. 2 back-to-back triples.
That sun is right there, too, in his eye. So, I mean, that's 2 straight errors.
2 batters, 2 errors.
Those are 2 tough plays from outfielders. So now we're back to where we started, runner on 3rd, and now we got Taylor Schwarner, who has definitely
been the definition
man.
Of good, that's for sure.
12 home runs in the season.
Takes the first pitch deep to center. Center fielder backing up.
Going to bounce off the wall, and that's going to easily score Brennan Bro.
That's going to be a double for Schwarner, and these outfielders are getting plenty of work early in this game.
First batter to left field, second batter to right field, third batter to center field. And like you said, their slugging percentage is very high, and we've seen it so far today. All 3 hits are all pretty
Cranks
good.
to left field, right field, and center field. All of them deep, all of them well hit. And this outfield for Alcorn State getting some work here early in this one. So Southeastern already cutting into that early deficit now, only down 1 run. Schwarner on 2nd now.
Schwarner's playing DH today, so he's not starting at 3rd. So it'll be interesting to see how his hamstring holds up, because like we said, he is battling a hamstring injury, and now he's on 2nd base. So if a ball is hit as a single, it'll be interesting to see if Reiser sends him home.
Exactly. Don't know if he wants to risk tweaking that hamstring any further.
Not with a player like Schwarner.
Exactly. One of the best players in the entire Southland Conference.
Actually, almost in the
And that's a shot deep.
That's gone.
And that is gone, way gone. That's going to be on the football practice field. They're going to touch them all.
That's going to be double-digit home runs for him on the season. That's going to be his 10th home run in the season. So Alcorn State got off to a huge start with a big 3-run home run. And Southeastern comes back with no outs in the bottom of the 1st, still up 4-3.
The bats are hot tonight, that's for sure. Outside of that first batter, no one's really looking at that many pitches. They're taking what's there, and they're liking it. Reginald Johnson is not liking it.
And he's had lucky breaks so far. There's 2 errors that should have probably been catches from the outfielders. And as you say that, another hit. Southeastern just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting.
Single right there to left. For sure that first one. That second one looked really tricky. He was on the run. He was sprinting.
I actually looked away. I thought he would have caught it. I thought he caught it for a while. And I looked away.
Staring right into the sun is the right fielder. And now here's Derek Mount, batting .272 on the season, takes his strike.
Last year when Alcorn State came to Hammond for the game last year, Southeastern put up, I think, like 15 runs against them. So it's not too uncommon to see Southeastern put up runs against Alcorn State. And Alcorn State has struggled this year as their pitching staff has a high team ERA of about
taking off for
close to
second.
7.
Got there pretty easily. Did Drew Avens.
Drew Avens, 17 stolen bases in the season.
Southeastern a very aggressive base running squad.
That is what you're saying. Alcorn State starters, their team ERA is almost at 7. So they've given up 10 runs or more in almost half their games this season.
My goodness. See Mount fight that one off. 2 strikes. Opponents are hitting .329 off of Alcorn State pitchers this season. Oh, here's the 0-2 to Mount. That's low and away. The only really bright spots for pitching for this Alcorn State team is Conrado Skeppel. He's leading the SWAC with 5 saves. He had a save opportunity this past weekend. Pick up the 5th save. You see Mount fights that one off. Stay alive.
And that's tough because they do have a really good bullpen, but it's if the starters have a good outing to get them to the bullpen.
Exactly. That doesn't happen very often. Skeppel picked up his 5th save. They actually snapped a 12-game winning streak for Jackson State this weekend on Saturday, even though they lost this series. Took 1 of 3 to snap that win streak. Low and away again.
Good patience there from Derek Mount.
Mount having a great at bat too. Making Johnson really work here.
Still no outs in the bottom of the first.
Just missed high there. Going to bring a full count now to Derek Mount. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That was a good speed pitch. I'm surprised the catcher didn't try to frame him a little more. I'm trying to get that strike 3 called. But now, like you said, full count.
Here's the delivery. That's a shot to right. That's going to land for his single. Avens is rounding third, and he's going to... Oh. They're going to keep him there. Runners on the corners now for Southeastern. For a second, thought they were going to be aggressive and possibly send Avens home.
I thought so, too. Avens got a bad jump off a second because I think he thought the second or first baseman was in a closer position to the ball. So I think he thought that they would have made a play. So he got a bad start.
There, signaling to his infield. That's a great point, though. That's probably why they didn't send him. And Senez is going to call a timeout here. And we'll take one, too. We'll be right back with Southeastern Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. We see Bobo Webb.
Bobo.
Bobo, excuse me. Web Bobo.
We did that
In the
last
ba-
game too.
I did the exact same thing.
It's one of those names where you don't know exactly.
You really don't know.
Really, you don't.
You have no idea.
You don't
Could
know
work
what's up.
either way.
Bobo Web. A Web Bobo.
Phenomenal name, too.
At Nichols, I think Nichols State has a player. It may start with a B. His first name starts with a B and his last name's Webby. So instead of Web Bobo, it's like something Webby. So it's kind of like the opposite of him, so I thought it was kind of funny.
1 ball, 1 strike on Web Bobo. Alcorn State took a little timeout. Coach Brett Richardson came out to give his pitcher a talking to.
He's probably trying to calm down. He's given up 4 runs so far and 2 errors, and still nobody out, so he's probably just trying to calm down his pitcher.
Runners on the corners for Southeastern here. Richardson is in his 2nd season as head coach of Alcorn State. Spent the better part of 18 years as an assistant coach and interim head coach of Florida A&M University. 3 balls now on Webb.
The bottom 3 hitters in the Southeastern lineup, 7, 8, 9, are all batting under 200. So it would be interesting to see how they do today against this pitcher.
Takes the strike there. Going to bring it to a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brett Richardson seems to have a lot of history with Florida A&M University. Coached there for the better part of 18 years before getting his first shot to be a Division I head coach. That's going to be ball 4.
Bases loaded.
Bases juice now. Reginald Johnson not getting any help from his defense so far. Bases loaded, no outs. 2 errors. And that 3-0 lead quickly disappeared.
I think everything we talked about so far, we've seen so far, you know, the slugging percentage from Southeastern, the walks from Reginald Johnson, and just a high ERA from him as well. We've seen that.
Scotty Sanders chops at that one. Going to bring up strike 2. You're right, so far hit on everything we talked about in pregame. Johnson struggling, Southeastern's cranking it. Haven't even got out of the first 7 combined runs already in this one. Who knows how many we'll see when it's all said and done.
3 outs, 7 runs so far in this game. Alcorn State has someone, can't exactly tell who it is, but they have someone warming up in the bullpen.
Down on first base side. See if we can get a number there. Two balls, 2 strikes on Scotty Sanders. Takes the cold, strike 3. First out of the inning for Reginald Johnson. Got Sanders looking. And like you said, the bottom of this Southeastern lineup has definitely been struggling. You'd hope that with a pitcher like Reginald Johnson, maybe they could get their feet under him, but not so much for Sanders there.
That could be a big out for Alcorn State because now if a ball is hit anywhere in the infield, it could turn into a double play opportunity to get out this inning only being down 1. And I'm looking around the ballpark right now, and these flags, they're definitely blowing. So the wind's really strong today and it's blowing out to center field.
You just talked about the double play opportunity. It looks like they're going to get 1 on the force at home.
You seen the catcher there?
I don't think Sanders was too happy about that slide.
No, it looked like, and the coach is coming out and talk to the umpire
Going to
about
say
that.
something about that. Who is that coming on home? Was that Mount? I believe it was Mount. Sliding into home on that forced play. And Richardson pleading his case.
That's interesting because you normally don't see that play itself at home. Normally you'll see that at second or third base. Normally you'll see actually a body collision at home plate, but they're going to keep the call the same.
Well, I think the question there, because it wasn't out, was, hey, that was dirty.
Yeah.
And the only possible solution that Richardson was going to get there was maybe an ejection from out. And the umpire and Richardson just didn't see eye to eye as you saw Richardson walking back to the dugout, shaking his head.
Center brings up the top of the lineup again with Ryan Byers.
Taking the strike on the inside corner. Bases still loaded for Southeastern.
With the bases loaded with nobody out earlier in the inning, Southeastern is definitely looking to capitalize now with the 2 outs with still the bases loaded, but they weren't able to bring a run across with the bases loaded.
Thanks to Johnson making a good head-up play there on that dribbler to the pitcher. He kind of seemed to struggle with it, but made the easy play at home there. It twisted him about. It looked strange.
Normally pitchers have that problem.
He caught the ball. The glove kind of stuck on the ground, and then he spun and threw it home.
The ball might have actually gotten stuck in between the laces of the glove. Normally you see that with major league pitchers. I see that kind of often where a hard grounder is hit right up to the pitcher, and the pitcher actually has to throw his glove to the first base or any baseman and get the out because the ball is stuck in there.
Maybe in that instance he just had some problems maybe fishing the ball out of the net in the glove. And there's a shot down third base line. That's going to bring in 1. That's going to bring in 2. And that is a 2-run double for Ryan Byers already after 1 inning, having himself a pretty solid day. And that brings your score: Southeastern 6, Alcorn State 3 in the first inning of this ball game.
If this inning stays like this, we're going to be like 6-3. The viewers at home are going to be like, man, is it like in the 7th inning? Nope, we're still in the first.
Still in the first.
Still in the first inning here.
We're going to live in this first inning. Maybe for the rest of time.
They just showed Matt Reiser. You know, I didn't recognize him this earlier today when we were interviewing him. He
got the nice clean shave.
Yeah.
Working the 5 o'clock shadow.
A new start to him. That's what he called it.
There you go. Bro thought about that first pitch. That's going to be a
get through. Going to bring 2. I think moving Bro to that second spot, because last year he led off in this lineup as a freshman. But like we said, this year he struggled. And lately he's just been on a roll. He was hitting like 150 on the year. I know his average is only 211, but that's a big improvement from what it was, and he's definitely making an impact right there in the second spot.
It is, and like you've said, it's he's come on late, and they're going to need him to keep improving down the stretch in this season.
That's
they
big
want to make some noise in
tournament.
this conference. Exactly. Bro already 2 hits. You see Schweiner take that pitch high and inside. Hits galore already in this first inning. 6 hits. And there's another shot. Not going to fall that time as Dervinson Hamilton reels that one in. Didn't lose that one in the shade. And that's going to bring your score: Southeastern 8, Alcorn State 3. We'll be right back with Southeastern Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field, and I know the sky looks clear, but it's been raining runs. 11 runs in the first inning, and Carson Kreitz there hit his 10th home run of the season. An inning full of hits for Southeastern as they scored 8 runs in the first inning of this ball game.
11 runs combined in the first inning from both teams. If
Very-
you're a fan of defense, this game is not for you.
That is
If you're a
definitely
fan
the
of offense,
case,
stay tuned.
because it's probably going to get worse before it gets better for Alcorn State. Here's Pate Robinson now.
It'll be interesting to see how long Peyton Robinson stays in this game. He normally comes in for about an inning or two. He has 13 innings pitched on the season. Or no, 22 innings pitched on the season. And this is only his 13th appearance. So it should be interesting to see how long exactly he goes in this game.
We'll keep an eye on that. This is Brandon Barna at the plate. He actually has a brother that plays on the team, just batted a few slots above him, Justin Barna. Brandon Barna is a big man, 6'4", 230 pounds.
Only a sophomore, too.
His brother's a senior. Barna, first baseman, batting .305 on the season. Having a good at bat here. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Barna. The Barna brothers actually had a game this year where they both hit home runs in the same inning. That's got to be pretty cool.
Barner bombs.
Barna bombs. Barna burners. There you go. Not going to outrun that one. First out of the inning for Southeastern. Barna dribbles to the second baseman.
That'll bring up the right fielder, William Thomas, who this is his first game started this season.
We should consider ourselves privileged. Only played in one of their games so far this year. Swings at the first pitch he sees. Whiffs for strike 1.
Robinson has looked a lot better this inning from the first inning. Definitely attacking the strike zone more. Pitching more pitches in his zone.
He's calmed down a bit after giving up that 3-run home run, which was pretty surprising, to say the least, to see right off the bat. I think maybe that sent some shockwaves through the dugout. You've seen this team, saw them respond at the bottom of the first, but you see Robinson responding here. Having a good second inning. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Thomas. There's the 2-1 for strike 2.
Like you said, that home run was kind of surprising. This Alcorn State team really isn't known for power. They're more known for their contact.
Only their
they have good
13th home
averages.
run of the season.
They'll have good averages, but just not a lot of power. That's a tough
That's always
call
frustrating as a pitcher,
as a pitcher.
too.
Yeah, because you're in the zone. You have your pitch ready. Everything's set up. There's so much focus that goes into one pitch, and you're not really focused on like the umpire at that point. You're just focused on like throwing it to the glove, and whenever they call time like that, it's really hard to slow down. It's really hard to stop, and you'll see batters get frustrated sometimes when the pitcher actually throws the ball in there.
Well, I think the thing that's most frustrating from a fielder's standpoint is a lot of times these batters will try to call time, late in that pitching process, and when umpires do give them those timeouts, it's extremely frustrating.
It can definitely be hurtful to a pitcher as well. Like it can hurt them stopping their momentum so quickly.
Swing and a miss there. Pate Robinson getting the strikeout.
As you mentioned earlier, definitely calmed down this inning, coming off the last inning, coming off the 3-run home run.
Christian Ackland now at the plate, batting only .125 on this season, seeing his 6th start of this season. Played in 10 games. He's a junior. And here's Reiser coming out. Talk to Robinson.
I know what he's talking to him about here. Seemed like it was a good inning so far for Robinson. I don't see him going to the bullpen in this inning especially.
Interesting timeout for sure. I'm not entirely sure what they could be talking about as we see Alcorn State warming someone up in the bullpen. It looks like number 29, Devon Key.
It's a long talk too. They might have just been going over strategy, but normally, you know, if he was injured, you would see a trainer come out and look at him, or if he was going over strategy, you might see the whole infield come in. So just seeing the pitcher.
Maybe that timeout could have tweaked something. Him having to stop his delivery. I don't know if that could have played a factor.
I do know sometimes coaches, if they are looking to go to the bullpen, as we do see someone warming up in Southeastern's bullpen, they do like to go call time and go do a meeting to give that person in the bullpen more pitches. It might give them 3 or 4, but those 3 or 4 can be crucial.
Strike there on Christian Acklin. 1 ball, 1 strike now on the batter. Wouldn't be surprising if we saw Alcorn State trot someone else out to the mound. Fouls that one off. Rolling out to left field still. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the batter. Here's Robinson now.
So I heard a rumor earlier that you thought that the Alcorn State mascots was not the Braves, but instead was the Acorns.
Thought they were the Acorns, thanks to my good buddy John Sartori. They just seem like they should be Acorns. You know?
The Alcorn State
Acorns. You know. It sounded right, but then of course as I started the prep, I'm like, oh wait a second, these guys, they're the Braves. They're not the Acorns. What are you gonna do? The Southeastern Sound not liking that pitch being a ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on the batter.
Thought that would have ended the inning on a strike 3.
Here's the delivery on the full count. It's going to be low and inside for ball 4 as Robinson puts a man on first base. We head back now to the top of the lineup. Wallace Rios Jimenez now.
Number 13, second baseman, Wallace Rios Jimenez.
See a shot of the bullpen there.
Gage Pickett warming up for Southeastern right now, number 7.
Acklin getting a jump there off first on the foul ball by Jimenez. You see, there's only one person in the parking garage, the top of the parking garage, watching the game.
Just one.
Just one. You normally see a small group of people. That's a shot down first base line. That's going to be foul.
Is that someone else on the other side? That they might.
Maybe.
They might have a few. They might have a few.
There's a couple up there. Beautiful evening for baseball. I'm sure it feels great up there. Nice little breeze. It's Acklin.
I always wanted to watch a game from up there. Just see what it's like.
Takes the lead off at first. Here's Robinson now. It's going to be outside. First ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Jimenez. Jimenez with a .469 on base percentage. That leads the Braves.
It's like a hit and run, but with 2 outs, so the only play was at first.
And that's going to be out number 3 as Robinson gets out of the top of the second inning. That brings your score: Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 8. You're watching Lions Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. The Southeastern Louisiana Lions now are leading 8-3, and you see it there. Consistency, dedication, both of those things are seen from this lone fan sitting atop the parking garage overlooking Alumni Field.
That's probably the best view in this baseball stadium.
It probably is. Now, right now, he's not focused on the game. He's looking away, but soon, here in a moment, whatever new pitcher, there he is, Devon Key is at the mound, and that got his attention, and it's got ours, too. Reginald Johnson only lasted 1 inning there, giving up 8 runs. Well, I should say, with the 2 errors. Key now, first pitch, ball outside.
Carson Kreitz, who had the home run last inning, is now up to bat.
Kreitz cranked it over the left field fence. High and inside there. This Southeastern lineup is just packed with power from top to bottom.
That was a hard hit ball
That
right
was
back
a
to the
very,
Southeastern dugout.
very hard hit
That can
ball.
be a very dangerous play for a dugout like that. Not much protection.
Especially the way these dugouts are set up.
Yeah.
It's could be a field day. Could be a pinball situation too. Starts bouncing around in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Kreitz. Batting .286 on the season. Catcher's heading up outside. Can't get Kreitz to chase that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So Reginald Johnson only lasting that 1 inning. Probably not helping his ERA any. Having a rough season so far. Entered Devon Key, and that's going to be foul, but a deep foul. Out of play. I think it hit somebody walking their dog. Hopefully
horrible.
they're okay. Hopefully they're all right.
So the Lions scored 8 runs in that inning, and Reginald Johnson will be charged 6 earned runs because
Of the 2 errors.
yeah, that was a rough way to start.
It definitely
Yeah,
was,
sorry.
right off the bat.
It was almost like 2 pitches, two errors.
Vincent Hamilton couldn't quite get a hold of that first shot deep to left.
Just misplayed, and it's really hard to see with that sun going down, especially for a right fielder.
William Thomas, exactly, him in right field. He juggled with that one for a while. It was like a circus performance, and he couldn't bring it in. And there's a shot. That's deep. Cedar Vincent Hamilton now, he ropes that one in for the first out of the inning. Wasn't going to fool him that time.
2 hard hit balls there by Carson Kreitz. With the wind blowing out like that, it really close to getting out, but it was caught on the warning track.
Drew Avens.
Drew Avens now up to bat. This is the last midweek non-conference home game of the season for Southeastern. Avens takes this strike.
One of their upcoming non-conference midweek games will be against Southern Miss in Biloxi, where the Biloxi Shuckers minor league team plays. That's gonna be a fair ball down the line. It's gonna be 2 for Drew Avens. Great double hit right down the line.
Shot right down the first base line there for the stand-up double for Avens. Going to put him 2 for 2 now on the day. Almost died there, Dylan. Choked on some water. That would have been quite the way to go.
That's what you get for saying that foul ball hit that someone walking their dog. It's retaliation.
That's what I get.
The Southeastern
That deserve it.
Sound make sure
They sent some
people give it the
subliminal
yeah.
messaging up here.
Absolutely.
Mountain now up to bat. 7 hits on the day for this Southeastern lineup already through not even 2 whole innings. Taking off for third now. Better throw by the catcher. Senez maybe would have brought forth the play, but nothing really doing there.
That was a dangerous play. It's a right-handed batter, and the catcher has to try to somehow throw the ball around the batter.
Yep, it's difficult.
And he was falling back when he threw it, so he's very lucky that third baseman was able to catch it and make sure it didn't go in outfield, because that would have been another error.
Could have been a disaster. And there's already been a couple now for this Brave squad. Here's the delivery. There's a shot to
Hard hit.
deep right center. See if it's going to land. Not that time, but tagging up there is Avens for the 9th run of this young ball game. William Thomas.
This is almost the same scenario that happened last inning. The first batter hit the ball to deep left field, and then
Next batter got on base, and the third batter hit it to deep right center. Except both times to Vincent Hamilton, and there's a shot to right there. That's going to drop. That's going to be a single. But as you were saying, William Thomas, the shot to William Thomas, he juggled it around for a bit. Crowd filling out here at Alumni Field, at least behind the backstop here.
catcher's trying to settle down his pitcher.
We've definitely seen a lot of that so far. Pitchers getting worked up.
First baseman, Scotty Sanders.
Here's Sanders now. Nothing doing his first at bat. 0 for 1 so far in this game. Swing and a miss. With the first strike, Sanders.
He took his head out of the ball there, or at the swing. He struck out last at bat, so he's probably looking to bounce back from that one. But that was not a good first swing for this at bat.
It was not, batting only 136 on the season. See over there on first base.
He had a home run his very first at bat of the season, and since then he's just been really quiet. As you see there, another swing and a miss, tough one.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs now here in the bottom of the second. Southeastern putting 1 run on the board in this inning.
Scored 11 in the first, only got 1 in the second.
There was no way that either of these teams are going to be able to keep up that pace. Both teams settling down. There's a shot. That's going to be a base hit. It hits the bottom of the wall, takes a weird angle. That's going to bring in a run. And that's going to be a stand-up double.
You said it there. It was
Here's Scotty Sanders.
You said it there. It was and Webb Bubba scores. And I've seen this in his first inning as well from this Alcorn State outfield. Is that it looked like this, like in the first inning, the center fielder looked like he had it. In that play, the left fielder looked like he had it. And just at the last inning, just kind of lets it go over their head or over their shoulder and let it bounce off the wall, and they'll play it off the wall. But it looks like makeable plays that they just didn't do.
I think this wind is definitely playing a factor in this outfield. You see those flags flying, and like we both just said, Vincent Hamilton looked like he had a shot at making a play there.
Yeah.
And it just kind of sailed over his head a little bit.
It was a hard hit ball, like you said, the wind, but it still looked like a catchable play.
Doesn't help that it takes that bad bounce at the bottom of the wall, and Sanders making up for that first strikeout in the first inning.
Regardless, it's a double and it's an RBI.
Yes, it is. That's the second run of the inning for Southeastern as Evan Pace.
We're trying to keep up the pace.
At the plate. There you go, Dylan.
I had to get my joke in.
That's good stuff there. Quality stuff. Can't write that. Evan Pace batting only 153 on the season. Sanders took a nice little lead there on second base, hurrying on back. Pace 0 for 1 today.
Evan Pace has shared starting reps this year with Daniel Wassinger. All 7, 8, 9 has all shared reps this year as being the starter.
Timeout by Key there. Sanders making Key nervous. His pace hits that one high. I think that's going to go out of play, and it does. Right in the bleachers. Might be a souvenir for somebody.
We're kind of close to our cameraman for a little while.
Very close.
I think that's Tyler Guidros out there.
Tyler, I saw Tyler saying a prayer. Hoping it would miss him.
He's our pro, though, so.
He's a pro. He could have used his hat as a glove.
Never flinched either.
Never flinched outside of the prayer. There he is.
There he is. That's our pro out there.
There's a shot that's going to land, and that's going to bring in a run. Sanders rounding third now. Evan Pace with the single. Southeastern doing work.
This is what every coach loves to see at the bottom of his lineup. 2 straight hits, or 3 straight actually, from Webb, Scotty, and Evan.
Another timeout as Senna is trying to calm down Key, and Key is struggling now with the bottom of this lineup, and things probably aren't going to get much better. It's Ryan Byers. Heads up now. It is his 3rd plate appearance, and it's the 2nd inning. Getting plenty of work today. 2 outs now, runner on first base. That's Evan Pace. Here's Key now.
Oh, that's going. Is it?
He's going to say it's fair. He smoked that ball. Hit it into another stratosphere. Not going to get that one back.
I seen the ball come up the bat, but I did not see where it went.
I had no idea where it went. I think
it was far. I knew it was far.
I think it broke the sound barrier. Something like that happened.
He hit it over the scoreboard, for sure.
He obliterated that baseball. See, someone out there is going to go try and chase it down. They're just going to find the remnants of what used to be a baseball.
His 8th home run of the year from the first spot in the lineup.
13-3. Inning and a half of work now. Not even 2 complete innings.
The Lions have outscored Alcorn State 13-0 since the first inning home run for Alcorn State, getting them up 3-0 early.
Southeastern's really making the scoreboard guy work for his money tonight. Working that scoreboard. 2 outs now. No one on base after the home run. Here's a delivery. That's going to be low and away. Brennan Bro, 1 for 1 of the night.
He hit that ball that was an error in the first inning.
And then hit a single last inning.
Yes.
He's got on base here now. Both of his at-bats. Southeastern now, after talking to Reiser in the pregame, this has been definitely something that they can hopefully use as a springboard heading into that big series this weekend. Now Reiser said, hey, we need to focus on this game, but these guys seem focused. Definitely focused on the ball as they're cranking it here tonight.
I've seen many games from Southeastern this year, and one thing's been consistent, and we've talked about consistency all year, but one thing's been consistent is that whenever the team is aggressive, as you see today, they're able to put up runs on the score, and that's how they get the wins.
Bro is going to draw the walk.
But when they don't and they wait for their pitches and this doesn't come to them, then that's where you see the lack of offense. Like here you see these players swinging at the first pitch, swinging at the first good pitch they see, and you see it paying off with home runs, doubles, singles, just nice contact. But in past games, when they don't do that, that's what happened Saturday here when they played Nichols. They just kind of waited for their pitch and it just never came, and they only had 1 hit in the 9th inning.
It's definitely key that these guys stay aggressive, and they've been very aggressive tonight.
And that's what Coach Liza likes from his team. He likes that the team is aggressive at the plate and aggressive on the base paths. He wants players that can hit home runs and steal bases. We see Taylor Schwarner in the year has 12 home runs, and he has 11 stolen bases on the year.
combination of speed, power, aggressiveness that this entire Southeastern lineup seems to possess from top to bottom. 2 outs now, 1 ball, 1 strike on the batter.
If you're a coach, you would love to look down your lineup and see no exactly guaranteed out. You know, when you know they go up to the plate, you're like, okay, let's expect an out here. It's really good to have that. And for the first 6, 7 batters in this lineup, that's how it is.
Trey Morgan entered the game for Southeastern. Got a hold of that one. That might cause trouble, but it doesn't. Vincent Hamilton brings that one in for the 3rd out. Southeastern putting 5 more runs on the board to bring the score. Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 13. You're watching Lion Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel.
Trey Morgan just
Yes, we can. Yes.
yes.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Alumni Field. You see it there. Shot to the shortstop. Play first out of the inning here. We have something from our sideline reporter, Richie Solaris. Richie, what you got for us?
Well, guys, the Lions are having some fun at the expense of pitcher Devin Key. I was standing there listening to Brennan Bro and Jacob Seward talk, and they were laughing, saying that this feels just like batting practice. Well, Coach Matt Reiser came up and said, I think batting practice is a little bit harder. And when I asked the guys what they thought, what they were seeing from this guy, they simply laughed, smiled, and said, he's just slow. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Richie.
Wow.
Wow, that is scathing.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I expect that from a player. The
Seriously,
coach.
that hurts me. Like I
Wow.
feel bad for Key. That he's just slow. Wow.
We didn't say it earlier, but Gage Pickett is now in the game for Southeastern. But yeah, I mean, I'd seen that the velocity on the pitches weren't the fastest, but I mean,
It's going to be a base hit for Vivas there, but yeah, you're right. That those were some harsh words there. I can't think of a time where I heard of at least a coach giving maybe such a scathing review in game of another pitcher.
but thanks to Rich. I mean, he got that inside.
He
scoop.
did.
But you
God
had
bless
mentioned
Richie
something
Solaris.
last inning that
Pop up there.
to Brennan, bro. But
Nice play by the shortstop, bro.
you had mentioned something earlier, last inning, that Trey Morgan had come in to hit. He replaced Taylor Schwarner. So
Center fielder
hopefully his hamstring was okay, and coach just decided to take him out the game with the big lead. And that's why they replaced him at DH.
You see Mr. Gage Pickett in the game for Southeastern now, relieving Pate Robinson.
Very interesting pitching windup. He extends his left leg out in front of him, and when he pitches, it adds more momentum, which creates velocity.
See the angle there. There you go. That's a pop-up. That's going to be on a play. Top of the dugout there. Heard the kerplunk.
What's very interesting about this stadium is the restrooms are located behind the players' dugout, the opposing team's dugout. And
It's got to create for some awkward situations.
I recalled one game where a player had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the game. I guess he wasn't a starter. And he just waited in line behind everybody else.
There's a shot now, deep to left. That's high. But he brought it in. That was Drew Avens getting the third out of the inning. That's going to take us to the bottom of the third. Your score is Southeastern 13, Alcorn State 3. We'll be right back with Lions baseball here at the Southeastern Gym. Welcome back to Alumni Field, and I think that ball flew United because it got destroyed, beaten, knocked out of the park there.
That went over the scoreboard. That was a deep home run. And the left fielder knew it right went off the bat.
I think they're still trying to find that one. Here's Carson Kreitz for the Lions. Swing and a miss, strike one. Kreitz already a home run in this game. Plenty of power so far in this one.
13 runs on 11 hits with 2 errors.
That's going to drop for a base hit. This game is definitely going to help boost the team batting average. Alcorn State stuck with Mr. Devon Key here at the bottom of this third inning. Here's Drew Avens now.
Everyone seems to like the name Drew. It's like there's a famous athlete or something like that around here with the name Drew.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think that it really pertains to Drew Avens. He was probably 10 years old whenever Drew Brees came to New Orleans, but even still, it definitely is a really popular name. Batting .291 of the season now. Wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of different Lions come off the bench and get some work in this one, get some plate appearances.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. The Lions right now have a 10-run lead, which could create a 10-run roll in the 7th inning. That is if Alcorn State doesn't come back, or if both teams decide that they want to play a full 9-inning game. It's of their choice.
If you're Alcorn State and this thing gets even more out of hand, I don't know how far you want to take it. Drew Avens here, he's batting .291 of the season. That's second best on Southeastern's roster. Only behind Schwanner. There's his shot now, deep left center. To Vincent Hamilton. Sits under it for the first out of the inning.
And now the sun looks like it's almost completely down in the outfield, so it should be easier plays for the outfielders for Alcorn State.
And it should be easier to see the game from the parking garage. There's some more people there now.
He's not
Kind
alone.
of built up. He's not alone. You know, there's some shade in that area now. Things have gotten, I guess, cooler up there. They're having a party, and we are too. Southeastern leads 13-3 over the Alcorn State Braves. A lot of runs in this one. A lot of offense. Here's Derek Mount now at the plate. Could be a double play situation, and it is. Tap second, gets the one at first. And just like that, 3 outs. So we take it to the 4th inning. Your score, Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 13. You're watching Lions baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field, and there's the crowd up there gathering in the parking garage. Up there just relaxing. Again, they've got the shade now, so things are cooler, temperature dropping here.
It's a nice little tailgating area.
Oh, very nice indeed. Like you said, one of the best views, probably the best view of the entire field. A great place to be. Also, you
Besides the view we have.
Yeah, I mean, we got a pretty darn good view too. But, you know, they don't have to pay admission to get in here. They can just chill up there. They're beating the system, you know.
Absolutely.
Beating the system. Gotta admire it.
We got a new pitcher for Southeastern, number 8, Carlo Graffio. Sophomore right-hander. Southeastern's bullpen is very good.
A lot of guys in this one going to probably get an opportunity to pitch. Hard to simulate live at-bats against other teams, so good opportunity here to really get a lot of people some good work. Alrighty, now top of the 4th inning. Outside of that 3-run homer, the top of the 1st for Alcorn State, nothing doing offensively for them through the last 2 innings. Up to bat now is the left fielder, Vincent Hamilton.
That's a high heater, up and in.
That'll make you sweat a little bit if you see that coming at you in the batter's box.
Southeastern has this promotion to where they pick one batter each game, and they make them the strikeout guy, so that person.
There's a shot to deep center, shallow center. Going to camp on it for the first out of the inning.
Well,
Ryan
I was gonna say that if their Vincent Hamilton was actually the strikeout guy, So if he strikes out in some part in the game, that some fans hear and get a prize. But as you see there, he pops out.
Brandon Barnett now up to bat. Barnett has the highest slugging percentage on the entire team. Definitely their power hitter.
Mr. Muscle.
He's a big man. Swing and a miss for strike 2. "27 strikeouts on the year for Barna. Make that 28. As he goes down swinging.
Graffy is usually a hard throwing pitcher, but there you see right there, 2 straight pitches, 2 straight off-speed pitches to strike him out.
Number 17.
2 up, 2 down for Southeastern. Here's the right fielder, William Thomas now. Sun setting on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We are past the midway point in the season for these Lions. Heading down the home stretch of this season, crucial final 15 games. As we've said before, the last midweek non-conference home game of the season.
The Lions haven't had the year that Coach Reiser necessarily had hoped for. They've had high points and low points throughout the season, just like any season for any team. But let's see what, like you said, these final 15 games, they do play some tough competition with Sam Houston State and Stephen F. Austin. So it should be interesting to see what the team is able to do, whether they're able to sweep those kind of teams or win 2 or 3 from them.
Definitely hoping to use this game as a springboard, build some momentum into that big series this weekend. Like you said, some crucial conference series remain in front of them down here in the home stretch. It's going to be a shot to the third baseman. And that's going to be the 3rd out. Going to bring us to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score, Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 13. You're watching Lions baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. You see it here. The 2-run double from Ryan Byers. Having a great game, as is this entire Southeastern lineup. It's been a field day for sure. 12 hits on the game for Southeastern. 2 errors for Alcorn State.
Southeastern had the Canes Challenge today. So if the team scored 4 runs, they meet the Canes Challenge, and they, if I'm right, I think they did meet it. I think they met it.
I think so. My math isn't the best.
Got me a math test tomorrow.
I'm sorry. So here now, Southeastern's up 13-3. You talked about it possibly being a run rule. Something that's going to be something that both teams will have to agree to as we get later in this game. Devon Key, the pitcher for
Still out
Alcorn
there.
State. Third inning of work now for him. Came in after Reginald Johnson's, let's just say, rough first inning.
Little rough, little.
Little rough, just a little bit. To try and provide some relief. Some scathing remarks, from Coach Matt Reiser, according to Richie Solaris.
I'm watching the pitcher right now, seeing what he's throwing. I can definitely see what they're talking about with the velocity. It doesn't. He relies more on movement than speed, from what I've seen so far, and just he relies more on breaking balls, curves, and it looks like he's just leaving his breaking balls right over the plate, and that's why the Southeastern batters have been able to take advantage of it, which is why they have 12 hits and 13 runs in the game.
Well, Bobo there goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
On a nice changeup.
Talked about Key really needing that off-speed stuff to work for him. He's going to have success. And got him in a bite on the changeup there.
27. First baseman, Scotty Sanders.
Yet another timeout. Senez to Key. Scotty Sanders. Big base hit last time he was up. Takes that one outside for the first strike. That was a solid shot in the left field. Hit that one so hard. Thought he'd have trouble stretching into a double, but there he is standing on second.
I just mentioned earlier with during the last at bat, and he just threw it right there. It was a hanging breaking ball right over the middle of the plate, waist high, and Scotty Sanders took well advantage of that with the double to the wall.
Jervinston Hamilton getting his work this evening out in left field. Having to run all over the place chasing balls. Here's Evan Pace now. Sanders sliding for third, and he gets it.
Scotty Sanders not really known for stolen bases. But he's 2 for 2 in the year now.
Well, he's known for him now. You know, we talked about how there's a Lamar sign out in kind of right center. There's also a Pace sign on the scoreboard. So Evan Pace, you know.
He sponsors Southeastern.
There you go. Representing. Big swing there for Pace. One out now. Sanders on third base after the successful steal attempt.
Ball gets away on another wild pitch, and
Sanders
he's
scores.
going to steal home. So after a double, he steals third, and then with a wild pitch, he steals home.
Some serious struggles for this Alcorn State team. That brings the score Southeastern 14, Alcorn State 3.
And I think with any pitcher, and like I said, I've kept hitting on this whole inning, is that he's an off-speed pitcher. He likes to throw those off-speed pitches, and that was actually his
Shot to deep
fastball.
center. That's going to one hop off the wall. He's stretching for three. He's going to get it. He
gonna lose
loses
the
his
helmet.
helmet. He's kicking it around. And that's a triple. for Evan Pace.
It's his second triple of the year.
And I think these Lions wish they could face this pitching just for the remainder of the next 15 games, you know?
And that was his fastball right there down the middle of the plate. But we mentioned it with what I was talking about with Sanders on the wild pitch at home. With a pitcher throwing off-speed pitches like that, it's very tough for a catcher to know where the ball is going to bounce, and he just misplays the bounce, and it allowed Scotty Sanders to score.
One out now. Sneaks over the fence. The backstop, I should say. Jacob Seward up to bat now. Talked about a lot of Lions probably going to find their way into this, what's remaining of this game. Deep foul out of play for Seward. 2 strikes now. Seward batting .203 on the season. Here's Key now. And the delivery. Gets a hold of that one.
Be right out of the reach.
Thomas just can't seem to reach it. That's going to be yet another triple, more than likely, considering the throw. And here it is. Goes out of play, so that's going to send him home. Jacob Seward. The pinch hit. Triple. Going to bring him in after the ball was thrown out of play. Things are definitely getting darker and darker.
And no one
for the Braves.
And no one is in the Alcorn State bullpen right now warming up for them. They're gonna stay. They're gonna stay with Key.
Dead ball.
It hit him.
Bro gonna take the base.
And that's tough for a pitcher because he had a good third inning. He didn't give up a single run, but now it kind of seems like he's just losing confidence in his arm. And as you see there, the ball just went inside and hit Bro. It's tough for a pitcher because they base their game and their innings and their pitches off of momentum, and games like this, it's really hard to find your momentum after a game for a few outings unless you have a really good outing out there. So for Alcorn State, it might be tough for Key to find his confidence being on the mound if he gets back out there.
Soon as we talked about them having no one in the bullpen, you see Mr. Joe Smith for Alcorn State head out there and start throwing a couple pitches. So don't know if we'll see him in this inning or they're going to try and let Key get out of this jam. But like you said, after that pretty decent third inning, just seems to kind of be losing the confidence here. There's his shot. Center fielder makes the play on it for out number 2. Justin Barna, one half of the Barna brothers, makes the play in center.
Number 2, second baseman, Carson Brighton.
16-3, your score now. Lions tagging on 3 runs in this inning. Missed outside and away. Kreitz 2 for 3 in the game. Big home run. See it there. There's Joe Smith warming up in the bullpen for Alcorn State. Kreitz now 1 ball. Gets a hold of that one. Barna trying to camp under it. And he does for out number 3. Southeastern tags on 3 to bring your score. Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 16. You're watching Lions baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. Another fruitful inning for Southeastern. As you see it there, the ball dropping just outside the outstretched arms of William Thomas, and then thrown out of play. One was a triple, sending him home on the out-of-play ball. 2 runs would score. Southeastern would tag on 3 in the bottom of the 4th to bring this score. Southeastern 16, Alcorn State 3.
Wesley, I just floated you there. Oh man, I drank one little sip of water.
I think someone put
It's the
something in this
water.
water. It's the water, man. Someone's trying to take us out.
I was trying to like quietly cough, but you can't do that.
No, you can't. And there's a shot. Deep left, but making the play out in left field
Scores the ball winner from last inning is
for the first out.
This is the freshman
It's Drew Havens.
Tyler Booth, left-handed pitcher from Barb High School. Barb High School, one of the powerhouse high school baseball teams in the entire country.
second baseman, Wallace. Urios Jimenez.
Been saying all game, this game is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of guys to get some work. We've seen it now. I believe this is the 4th different Southeastern pitcher we've seen. A lot of guys getting to go up against some batters.
It's a good experience for the young players.
Definitely something they're going to need heading down the stretch here. Seemed to miss low on that pitch. Southeastern sound curious as to how that's even possible. Chops that one away. That one might stay in play, and it does.
That was Brennan Bro.
Bro with a phenomenal catch.
It looked like he might have even been surprised that he caught that.
Growing weary of that concrete wall over there. Found a way to reel it in for out number 2.
Hayes Saltaras.
Booth making quick work of the first 2 batters. Here he is now. That's Hayes Saltaire for Alcorn State, fouling that one off. Got to be weary of driving around the stadium on game day.
Yeah, I know they close off a little bit of one of the roads, but yeah, like you said, and
Either that or you just, you better have good insurance. One or the other.
they have those neighborhoods too, like right behind us, that I'm sure if you want a souvenir, you can just go out your
Oh
front
yeah,
yard
just
after a game.
just go over there, pick some off the front lawn. Two balls, one strike now on Hayes Saltair. Missed high again. 3-1's going to be the count. Alcorn State, they've been, I don't even know, less than quiet since that 3-run homer in the first inning when Saltair draws the walk. At least give him a base runner, but offensively things have been
Number 24,
non-existent
third baseman, Walter
since that first inning.
That might have been their first base runner since the first inning, I think.
But it's definitely been a while. It's Walter Neves, third baseman now for Alcorn State.
I was curious when Tyler Booth committed to Southeastern. He was undefeated as a starter, I think going 9-0 in high school at Barb, leading them all the way to the state championship. And like I said, he was a starter, so I didn't know what role exactly he was going to play for Southeastern. He hasn't made many appearances so far this year. And when he has, it's been in games like this where the team is up big. But it'll be interesting to see in the future what Tyler Booth brings to Southeastern.
See what his role is going to evolve to as time passes. Just a freshman is Booth.
A little now struggling since the quick 2 outs, which is seen from both batters, or from both past 2 batters. His command has been throwing pretty high.
Quick little conference to try and calm him down. 3 balls, 1 strike on Vives, and that's going to be outside. Booth walks his second consecutive batter.
After 2 quick outs, 2 consecutive walks.
Now we got 2 base runners. More words of encouragement now.
catcher, Jason Sunya.
Carson Kreitz hitting over to Booth. Jason Senes, the batter for Alcorn State. It's a cold strike 1. Not a lot doing for Alcorn State this season, but even still, with their 10 wins, sitting at 10-25, they find themselves 4th place in the SWAC. Just a game out of 3rd with a huge conference series for them this upcoming weekend. And taking off for 3rd, the perfect throw from the catcher for out number 3. You couldn't have put it anywhere else. It was perfect. That brings your score Southeastern 16, Alcorn State 3. You're watching Lions Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. Phenomenal throw from the catcher here to get the third out. The perfectly placed ball to get Hayes Saltaire out on third base. Brings up now Southeastern at the bottom of the fifth inning, up 16-3. This Southeastern lineup came hungry tonight because they are feasting on Alcorn State pitching. Alcorn State decided to stick with Devon Key. We're at the bottom of the fifth. We saw Key enter the game in the second. Gave up 5, fought through the third without giving up an inning. Giving up a run, and then last inning gave up 3. Missing outside on 2 pitches here. Here's Drew Avens. Avens, one of the top hitters on this squad, his second best batting average on the team. It's only gotten better tonight. He's gone 2 for 3. A lot of positives for this Southeastern team. And a lot of at-bats for sure.
I'm very surprised Alcorn State stuck with Devon Key here. Like you mentioned, he's given up 8 runs in 3 innings so far, so I'm surprised they actually decided to keep him in.
Well, we saw Joe Smith warming up last inning, and we were just expecting a change. And even here, at in between innings here, we saw him warming up again, and now he's sitting down and might be getting back up again after the walk. But they are sticking with Key. Derek Mount now for Southeastern in the batter's box. 1 for 2 on the day, batting .276 in the season.
Yeah, you can see this is, I've seen this numerous times with this pitcher, is that I don't think anything's wrong with his hand. Like, I don't think he has any blisters or cuts, but he knows that after he throws a pitch that's out of the zone, he looks at his hand and is like, this is not right. I'm not doing well with this.
Solid shot by Derek Mount to advance the runner to second base. After this single now, runners on first and second. Mount is 4th nationally with 7 sacrifice flies on the season. Interesting little tidbit for you.
Number 35, right fielder, Trenton Trostler.
Trenton Trostler entering the game for Southeastern. Trostler Jr. has an opportunity to drive some runs in. 5 stolen bases on this season. Rather not say his batting average. Chips that one away.
It's nice to see players who normally aren't starters being able to play tonight.
Getting a shot to enter the game in what is definitely a blowout here. The only interesting question remaining is how bad is it going to get? Shot for Trostler. It's going to go foul, out of play. Mr. Vincent Hamilton tried to chase it down. 2 strikes now on Trostler. Runners on first and second for Southeastern. Beautiful night for some Southeastern baseball. Dylan, we talked about it earlier. Not as many people here as you normally see, and we legitimately think that, finals probably has something to do with that.
Absolutely. It's a Tuesday night. Like you said, finals, finishing test. Probably.
Time's running out in the semester.
Yeah. Still not a bad showing though.
All things considering, you're right.
There's Mr. Muscle out there at first base.
Brandon Barnett reeling that one in.
I wonder if he has a nickname. Because if not, we just got it for him.
Number 27.
I want that to stick too. I want them to start using that. Like if we ever call another Alcorn State Southeastern game, I want like his
Brendan
name.
Barnett's nickname is Big Daddy,
Oh nope, never mind.
which might be better. Big Daddy. That's how you have to say it. Scotty Sanders now. Opportunity to add to his RBI total on the season. He has 5. Hacks away at that one. Strike number 1. Sanders having a good game so far, going 2 for 3. Talked about on the bottom of this Southeastern lineup has been struggling, but not much to complain about tonight. Hear the fans out there saying, Scotty! Hits that one out of play. If you live right behind the stadium, do you think there's like a level of frustration, you think? For those 3-4 spring months?
Yeah, I think like for sometimes it's okay because you're like, yeah, this is kind of cool. After a while, it's not. At like
After a while, it just becomes a burden. You're mowing the lawn, you hit a baseball, you didn't see it.
there's his ups and downs. It's like, yeah, I live right across the street from a baseball stadium. There's his ups and downs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You have these meteorite shower type situations on game
Yeah.
days where balls are just flying around left and right. You fear for your safety.
I went and watched the Southeastern versus Nichols series this past weekend, and the parking lot is right where all the foul balls go.
That is just terrible.
And so we're sitting in the stand, and every time a foul ball was hit, we're like, oh, please don't let it hit our vehicle. Like, I feel like you have to sign like a paper
Yeah,
saying you
it's
are
basically Russian roulette. Sits under that one is Senez for the second out of the inning in Southeastern now. 2 batters have fouled out. But you're right, it adds a level of tension to the game that may not, or if it's already a tense game, it's, oh my gosh, is my windshield going to break? Are they going to dent the hood of my car?
I wonder how many cars ever actually got hit. Not sure.
I feel like they probably let all the visitor fans park in those particular spots because they all know better. Like, yeah,
We're not parking there.
we're not parking there. Sorry, guys. Entering the game is Daniel Wassinger. He's batting 175 on this season. A lot of different Lions getting a
There's another wild pitch.
shot at playing tonight, and that's going to advance both of the base runners now. Runners on second and third for Southeastern, trying to add to this already enormous lead. Whenever you find yourself winning by a dozen runs and change, you're having a good night. A Baker's
About to
dozen.
say, a Baker's dozen
if
is
you
13,
will.
I think, right?
We like to keep up with
What, I was gonna say
with Baker's math.
That's something in technology. It's terminology. Terminology. I wonder why is that Baker's dozen? Like, dozen is 13.
I
dozen
think
is 12.
they
dozen is
throw
12.
that extra one in there. It's like, hey, you came over here. Here's an extra piece. Trying to get you
I mean,
to come back.
I'm not gonna argue with it. Of course, I mean, if I get an extra donut or you know,
Exactly. Yeah. Open up the box, 13 instead of 12. I'm not complaining.
It's gonna be a
Dribbling to the
close play.
shortstop. It is going to be a close play. It's going to be safe. The errant throw. He's going going to head on home, and he's going to walk in. Another error.
So they'll drive in 2, and then, like you said, another error. It was going to be a close play at first anyway,
It
and I think
was.
the shortstop rushes through and threw it out of the reach of the first baseman.
18-3 now. If you're Devin Key and Alcorn State, I don't know how much fun you're having right now.
Hitting for the Lions, number 37, Maverick Wilhite.
That's a phenomenal name.
Maverick.
Maverick Wilhite in the game. A great name on a team full of great names.
He actually
I
does
mean,
not
you
have a
could
hit.
you could probably go 10 deep with great names in this team, right?
What do you think is the best name?
I
on this
mean, we
team?
need to put together a comprehensive list of just the top 10 names on this team.
What do you think? Is it the best name on the team?
You know, Webb Bobo, that's got to be
Oh, that's true. That is true.
that's got to be a good one, and I'm proud of myself. I didn't call him Bobo Webb there. He's going to get that for the 3rd out of the inning. All 3 outs coming on foul balls for Southeastern. Southeastern tags it on 2 there to bring your score. Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 18. You're watching Lions baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. You see it here. It was going to be a close play at first, but the errant throw is marked down as an error. That scored 2 runs for Southeastern. That brought our score, Southeastern 18, Alcorn State 3. And as we work on this comprehensive list of the greatest names on this team, I start looking down, and there's a lot
There's so many good names.
well, there's a lot of alliteration too. You got Brennan, Bro, you know. You have Trinan, Trostclair,
Ben Bayless.
Ben Bayless, you know. I do think that it's Webb Bobo, solid. He's sitting at 1, right behind him, Maverick Wilhite. 3rd place, that's when things start to get interesting.
Interesting. Have you ever got named Cliff? Cliff's I like the name
Whenever you
Cliff.
got a Cliff, you're doing good. Carlo Graffio, that's a good name. That's a fun name to say. We're going to work on this list some more.
And then Drew. I mean, when you have the name Drew in Louisiana, I mean,
Funny guy. Lambertson, that's a fun last name. 1 strike now on the batter. Southeastern entered a new pitcher this inning. It's Cole Martin, another freshman.
that pull is just a little bit in the way.
Yeah, it's kind of
There's a pitcher on the mound.
that we swear there is one.
There's someone throwing
Just a
it.
phantom ball just flying on the field. Hit to the shortstop. Fantastic throw.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. And I talked to Coach Reiser about this numerous times this year. is that last year it was very difficult for Brendan Burr to make that throw. And he committed so many errors just on that play. And Jamison Fisher, who was at first base last year, now playing in the minor league system with the White Sox, he really bailed out Brendan Burr because he made some extraordinary plays. But Brendan Burr has definitely worked hard this offseason to perfect that throw.
You can see the work paying off there as
Absolutely.
from this view, it looks like a phantom pitcher is just floating balls across the plate. And that might be the case, as this Southeastern team is definitely haunting Alcorn State.
That was a really good one.
They're going to be having nightmares about this game. 18-3 now.
They are dressed in white, so it's like ghosts. I mean, the new pitcher for Southeastern, we forgot to say, is Cole Martin, another freshman left-hander. It's good that these freshman pitchers back-to-back with Tyler Booth and now Cole Martin get to have a little bit of experience.
Getting a lot of work in. A lot of young guys seeing some reps. A lot of young pitchers getting to
We can definitely see the pitcher right now. Definitely.
face some matters.
You can definitely see him.
Definitely see him from this view, yeah. He is real. And the Southeastern sound is getting
They-
upset.
That was a close call. That was a very good off-speed pitch there from Martin. Just missed, though.
This is a group of fans you don't want to rile up.
I think any South baseball fan, like you can go anywhere in the South, and they always have great electric crowds, no matter where you go.
We definitely got a energetic crowd here tonight.
Close pitch, but it's going to be ball 4.
Send him down to first base.
Number
That's
20, left field,
Justin Barton.
Vincent Hamilton.
So the sun is almost completely set now. Beautiful spring night. A ball that's hit to right. Not going to leave the infield, though. For the second out.
They always have nice sound effects here. You notice that?
Oh, yes.
Number 32, first baseman, Brandon
Whether it's
Barton.
the Pac-Man sound effects, the windows breaking,
That might be real.
the great...
I
well,
feel
you
like
know,
that's- I
yeah,
feel like that's real.
50% of the time, yeah, probably
It's
real.
real.
The Peter Griffin cutaway scenes, it's all phenomenal. They keep things fresh, they keep things alive. It looks like Southeastern's going to head to the bullpen.
There's some smoke, it looks like, rolling in from right field.
I don't know if they're grilling over there or
They
what's
might- they
going
might-
on.
they
I
might
see
be, yeah.
kind of situation and short work there for Martin. Cliff Hurst. Big man entering the game for Southeastern. Is Hurst in the top 10? Is that a... Does
Hurst,
that
Cliff,
deserve ranking?
I like-
Derek Mount. That's another quality name. We still,
I like the
after the
name.
first two slots, what are our top 5? We got to at least make a top 5. We got Webb Bobo. We
I
have
like
Maverick
Carlisle.
Wilhite.
Carlisle's good.
Number 32,
Carlisle's a good one.
Okay. Carlo Grafio. Okay, that's gonna be in the third slot.
No. Carlisle Kessler.
Oh, Kessler. Okay, all right. Well, Grafio may get offended a little bit, but. And it seems like our sideline reporter Richie Solaris has some information for us. Richie, what you got?
Well, guys, there's been another substitution on the Lions defense. Coach Matt Reiser has moved Derek Mount to second base and Trey Morgan to third. As for the reasoning, they're up by 15 runs. This is a time for them to experiment, see what guys can do at different positions. So it'll be a little interesting. And we saw Derek Mount with the fly out a little bit ago. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Richie, get out of there. I don't want you to get hit by a foul ball or anything. Back to start of the field. Got to keep Richie safe. He's taking off for his second. No throw there. As Richie said, when you are up 15 runs, you can kind of, do some interesting experimental things. Make the field Dexter's laboratory. Don't know why I said that.
You can learn a little bit about your team.
Scroller, that's another great name.
Scroller?
Yeah.
We
Carlisle Kessler, I think that's sitting solid in the third slot for sure. But it's 4 and 5 now. So we see Barna on second base for Alcorn State.
I don't know. It's really hard to determine though with the names.
And there are some quality names here. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. On the other Barna brother, Big Daddy, as they call him.
I'm gonna call him Mr. Muscle.
Mr.
I
Muscle.
like Mr. Muscle.
Mr. Muscle, Big Daddy.
All the
He's
same.
got a bunch of
All
great
the same.
nicknames.
It's all
yeah.
the same.
He's got 2 great nicknames.
Only a sophomore too, like we said. So he's got room to grow.
Room to add more nicknames to the mantle. Full count now. Barnett hustling. Not going to make it, though, and that's going to be the 3rd out. Brings our score, Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 18. You heard that right, 18. You're watching Southeastern Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel. Welcome back to Alumni Field. It has been a interesting night, to say the least. Southeastern leads 18-3 over the Alcorn State Braves. We just had a T-shirt toss here in the stands, and that's always one of the most polarizing events of the night. Is fans fight each other for free T-shirts. What would you do for a free T-shirt, Dylan? You know, I think I do know. I think you dance for one, because you were just dancing phenomenally up here.
Thank you.
Wish we had a camera up here. This guy was moving and grooving.
That's why I did it, because I knew it wasn't going to be on camera. You know, I've tried to get free T-shirts before.
It's a hard thing to do.
It is. I I feel like I was the loudest fan in the stand, but they didn't think so.
They don't think so.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back strong.
That's when you write a strongly worded letter to who? I'm not sure. It always helps.
I came to college, and I was like, and my first goal, it wasn't to make straight A's. It wasn't.
No. It was
to get a free shirt.
The free shirt.
Absolutely.
At any
it's
event.
disappointing.
Yeah. So far, what you're saying is your college experience up to this point, it's been a complete failure, right? I mean, is that? Because look, if that's the case, I've never got a free shirt either, and
I would not say a complete.
Okay,
failure.
just partial.
No.
Well, that's what I'm gonna.
No.
That's what I'm gonna say about mine. Until I get a free
you get a free
T-shirt,
shirt?
I've never fully experienced.
You get a free T-shirt.
Fully experienced college. Alcorn State. They finally entered. Some relief for Devon Key.
He made a strike 3 called.
That's Joe Smith with this strikeout, the first
You can
batter
see
he's
his-
faced.
You can see his smile from here. He was happy after that strikeout.
He's happy. Not a lot to be positive about for Alcorn State in this game so far.
Number 26, Trey Morgan.
Trey Morgan here up to bat. 18-3, not a score you see a lot in baseball. Hardly ever in baseball. 18 runs. That's a hard thing to do.
It is.
Kerplunkety Plunkerson right in the back. After the strikeout, going to send him down to first base.
And Trey Morgan hit there.
Really didn't look like it hurt too much.
No.
Did not look like there was a lot on it.
Number 28, Nate Hunter.
Nate Hunter entering the game for Southeastern. We've seen a slew of different players tonight come off the bench. Get a shot, getting that bat. Here's Smith now. Missing outside.
For those watching at home who weren't here for the first inning, Southeastern has scored 18 unanswered runs. The Braves got off early in the top of the first with a 3-run home run, but since then it's been all Lions.
It's Walter Vives with the 3-run jack. And then, like you said, since then, it has been a hurricane. 18 unanswered runs. Can't imagine we're playing more than 7 here tonight. Tip, strike, catch. Here's strike 2. 2 balls. Now, 2 balls, 1 strike on the batter. Timeout called by the catcher. All right, so Webb, Bobo, Maverick, and
You're still on the
Wilhite.
list.
We got to get this list down.
We just get the top 5. Let's just get the top
Okay,
5.
so is Trostclair 3 or was Carlisle 3?
No, Carlisle.
Kessler, excuse me. Carlisle Kessler, so
Absolutely,
he's 3.
absolutely.
Who's at 4? Is it Trostclair? Is it Lambertson? Ben Bayless has a good ring. What about Scroller? Max Scroller, that's a solid name.
Sorolla.
You know what? Let's put him at 4. Okay.
I wish we could hear like the fans' comments at home. Like,
Yeah, I kind of want to get.
see what they think.
Yeah, I kind of want to get their input too. Okay, so Kessler.
You know, we were talking.
Right.
Alcorn State has some pretty good names too on their team.
No, they do. They have some great names.
They're Vincent Hamilton, I like that. Wallace Rios Jimenez.
AJ Makarowicz. I mean, that's just Jaboris Smith.
Wait, Conrado Skeppel, that's what it is.
Oh,
there we go.
Conrado Skeppel.
There we go.
Rizedric Winters. Oh my goodness. That's my
Don't forget the
that's
best
my
one.
favorite.
Wait, the best one.
Rizedric.
I got the best one right here.
Okay.
Joe Smith. I mean, there. You can't get much better than
Oh,
that.
you want to talk about some creativity there with the names? Joe Smith. Yeah.
He's doing pretty well for Alcorn so far.
He actually
Good
is.
first strikeout.
He's entered now in relief, and
3-2 count.
he's got an out, a full count on the batter here. Nate Hunter. Gonna knock that one out of play as well.
Another one into the streets.
Feel really bad for whoever's having to go chase these balls down. I wonder if there's ever been a situation where like an actual like college game is ran out of baseballs. That'd be interesting.
You know, I was kind of wondering, like, how many baseballs do like a game use it.
How many do you think that they
like,
have before the game?
Well, yeah, because like for softball, because you have to count all the foul balls
Yeah.
and all the home runs. Like
There's
just
a
like
shot.
That
Is that one going to stay fair? No, it's not.
but like
Get an empty slot of the bleachers there.
but with baseball is different than softball is that whenever a ball say is hit foul or it's hit in the outfield or anything like that, the softball players will like reuse that same ball. Baseball
Yeah.
players normally don't.
That's a good observation. They normally don't. They're not as picky in softball, I guess.
I think pitchers in baseball just like to be perfect, make sure they have the correct grip, so they don't want any extra dirt. They don't want all that kind of stuff on the ball. They want a clean one.
Kind of picky, you know. It's got to be clean. Can't be any dirt on it.
Let's
There
say,
not be any sweat. No one breathe on the ball.
let's say there might be some miscommunication there between the pitcher and the catcher, because that's I think the second time that we've seen them have a meeting together. Just probably
Exactly,
making sure they
just-
know
yeah.
what call is which. Making sure everybody's on the same page. Especially on a 3-2 count.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and 800 here. Here's Smith now getting the signal. Here's a delivery. And that's
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
can
high.
tell that's
gonna be
not
ball
that's not
4.
what they were
Not
expecting
where
there.
he wanted it. Okay, so Bobo, Wilhite, Kessler, Stroller. Who's 5?
Yeah.
Who's the 5th? Who's the 5th slot? Who's in this 5th slot?
You know, Daniel Wassinger has a good last name.
Wassinger's good, but it's got to be the combination of the
Cliff Hurst.
first name and the
They
last
got
name.
Cliff Hurst out there.
Gage Pickett. That's strong. That sounds good. What was the one you said? You said Cliff Hurst?
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like that's got to be it. If you got a Cliff on a team. Yeah, I think, yeah. Let's go Hurst. And, you know, feel free to come and, if you're listening right now, to come meet us after the game. We'll have a serious discussion about this. We'll, you know, you think someone else should be in the top 5, best names in the team. 1 strike now on the batter. Runners on first and second.
What if we get
for
out there?
Smith,
There's like,
called strike.
what if we get out there? There's like this huge crowd. On
Wait
the
a
street? It's
second.
like,
you
wait,
guys
look.
got Maverick Wilhite over Carlisle Kessler. What the heck's with that?
you miss Gage Pickett out there. I mean,
Yeah, what about Pickett?
what is that? Is that a New York accent?
I don't know what that is. That's just fan. That's the fan voice.
That's the fan accent.
That's the fan accent. Missed away there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andrew Avens having himself a solid night. Everyone's really having a solid night for Southeastern. Just a good day in general for this Lions ball club. Working outside and missing again. I'm happy we got this. We got this list down.
We're gonna settle.
I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep
sleep
well
at night?
tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna, because the debate is over. We've got this on lock. There's a shot. That's gonna be a base hit. A single.
They're
Gonna
gonna
drive
send,
in a
they're gonna send
run.
home.
They are. To add to that 15 run total, now they're up 16, 19 runs in this game. It has been,
Number 5, Derek Mountain.
it's definitely been a struggle for this Braves squad to get outs each inning.
This is definitely the most runs that Southeastern has scored all year long. Their previous high was 15 against UL Lafayette. So this 19 definitely breaks that one.
Solid program to score 15 runs against, too.
Absolutely.
Runners on first and second for Southeastern. They're after the RBI single. Here's Smith now. 2-0 delivery. Shot right back to the pitcher. It's the second, trying to get two. First baseman just can't seem to scoop it up. So they get one there at second.
Nate Hunter, who's standing at third right now, kind of debated on whether he should go home or not. And as I was watching the play, I really think he should have went home because the first baseman didn't really look to see if he was coming home or not. So, like, he was slowly going to get the ball and had his back turned to Hunter the whole time. So I think if Hunter would have came home, I think he would have made it.
Number 35.
Probably one of those situations that wouldn't surprise me if Reiser was like, hey, just
Call it.
cool the Jets. 19-3. But, you know, maybe that's not the case. He has talked about staying aggressive, being aggressive.
This one might hit us. Hell, overtime.
It's going to hit something.
Oh, that was close.
I felt that. Oh, dang.
That was close. I felt bad because these people in front of us actually did not see it.
No, they had
So
no
they
idea
just
what
kind
it
of
was.
they just kind of put their hands over their head and just hoped.
Runners on the corners now. First and third for Southeastern. Here's Trenton Trosclair. He just missed the outside of the top 5 best names on the team, and
He was close. He was
he was
close.
close. He was almost there.
Freddie.
Freddie!
Freddie. I was
There
gonna
he
call
is.
Freddie. Look,
Freddie's
there he is.
got the
Wait,
ball,
some
and
little,
there's
wait, that little kid.
a
Look,
cute
look
little
at the
boy wants the ball.
Oh,
Oh, he's going to give
there
it
you
to
go,
him.
Freddie.
Don't say Freddie is not a good man
There
because
you
he
go,
is.
Freddie.
That little kid.
Working behind the
It's a
camera
moment.
and making kids' hard days happy. I mean, that's what baseball is all about right there.
Freddie, that kid is never going to forget this moment
No.
for the rest of his life. You did
Oh,
something
wait a second.
good.
Where was that kid at?
I don't know.
That
He
kid
just-
was not even near here.
He came from like outside of the stadium to
He
get
knew
that ball.
He knew Freddie was going to
Oh
give him the
my
ball.
goodness. Drastic turn of events here. It's this kid taking advantage of the kindness of our cameraman Freddie.
But thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Freddie.
There's a shot now deep to left.
That's a deep shot.
Working the wall, trying to find out where it is.
Just on the line track.
Oh,
Oh, he dropped it.
he dropped it. To
That was-
Vincent Hamilton, this is just, this is not his day.
This is not a game to remember, unfortunately.
Had it in his glove and it just popped out. You can see the frustration on him out there in left field.
I mean, it seemed like he had trouble with that because he started where the Southeastern bullpen is and worked his way 20, 25 feet down from where he originally was. So it seemed like he never really got a full sight of where the ball was. And even when he was in position, I guess that I looked away because I thought he had it. And the same way as the first batter of the game, looked like he had it for a while.
Couldn't quite reel it in, and the Lions tack on some more runs. It's 21-3 now, in case you were wondering. 21 runs. 21 runs. As we sit here now.
This is not a football score.
It's
not
not
21-3.
21-3. I mean, you'd think this
Not a
was.
football score.
You got to feel bad for Vincent Hamilton out there in left field. Having a rough day, a rough evening so far, but a rough season for these Alcorn State Braves. But that's an interesting conversation to have. Is if you are 10-25, Dylan, you know it sounds rough, but if you're, you know, a game back at third place in your conference, I mean, what's going to determine exactly how good your season was? What if they do end up third in their conference with, I don't know, 14 wins? Is that a successful season in your opinion?
You know,
ball forward to
that's a
Sanderson.
tough one because, well, I mean, you always want to tell us not how you start, it's how you finish. But, I mean, if they make it to their conference tournament and they go through it pretty well, then you got to think it's a successful season, regardless
You
of the
have
record.
to, even if you do
But if
end
it
up losing
doesn't-
30-odd games, which
Yeah,
is
it's crazy.
it's a crazy conversation to have. But on the other side, you look at Southeastern in this Southland Conference, it is a it's a top-heavy conference. There's a lot of teams in contention. Southeastern sits at 5 in the conference.
Baseball is one of those weird sports, and there's no other sport like this, in my opinion. It's that on any given night, any team can beat any team. Like you can have a team that has no wins on the year versus a team that's undefeated, and that team with no wins can go out and beat them by 10. And it's just one of those games where, maybe your pitcher and your stuff's just not there for you, and that other team, their stuff is, and everything's going right for one team and everything's going wrong for the other team, and it's just one of those type of sports. So, like I said, when Alcorn State does make it to their conference tournament, they can go undefeated in it, and it doesn't even really matter their record in the regular season. All that matters is now what you do in that tournament.
It's an interesting conversation to have. Just looking at that record, you just assume, okay, 10 and 25. But no, they're in the thick of things in their conference.
I thought that too. When I first seen the record, I said, oh, it must have been a, struggling year. They're probably towards the bottom of their conference, and they're not, like you said. I think maybe 6 of their wins have come in conference.
Yep.
6 of their 10.
Daniel Wassinger here, 1 for 1 of the day.
Did he make the list?
Saw the pass.
No, he didn't.
No,
He
he
didn't.
didn't.
He did not make the list.
He didn't have a good enough combination
That's
of
right.
first and last
That's
name.
right,
It's
that's
a
right.
solid last name, but it's not solid enough to make up for the first name. There's a shot to Barna. He's going to run it down, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Southeastern tacks on some more runs. Your score, Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 21. You're watching Lions Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel.
Fans, get out your 50-50 raffle.
Welcome back to Alumni Field. As we sit here in this ball game, top of the 7th inning. Alcorn State up to bat. Alcorn State 3, Southeastern 21. 21 runs.
And Drew Avens
This ball game.
came from left field to pitch. So he's going to pitch in the 7th inning.
Like I said, Dylan, we might not make it to the 7th inning stretch. We're not
never
exactly
gonna
sure
stretch.
what. Yeah, we're not going to be able
No.
to stretch. We're going to be tightly wound. We're
Yeah.
going to be susceptible to pulling something. That's not going to be good. We're not sure what the coaches agreed on before the game, but you can't imagine this is going to go more than 7. Something I wanted to talk about that happened early in this game. We saw that slide at home plate.
Yes.
And the bases loaded, and it kind of brings into conversation about the unwritten rules of baseball. You've seen it a lot lately, especially this past weekend. I believe it was Was it Dawson Pedroia and Manny Machado?
Yeah.
Manny Machado with that slide, and then the Red Sox retaliating. There's a lot of these unwritten rules in baseball, and sometimes they're kind of hard to keep up with. What you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, what's accepted in retaliation, what isn't accepted in retaliation.
You know, we really didn't get a good look exactly. And I just see it right there. Drew Ravens gets a strikeout. But, you know, we might not have gotten the best look at it completely. So we don't know how much of the plate the catcher was, you know, covering that would cause the runner to slide into him like that. Normally you can tell if it's intentional or not. Right there, we really couldn't.
You just saw Sanchez get upset, and you saw Richardson come out.
Yeah.
They definitely talked about it.
It is a dangerous play for the catcher. You know, you can risk being out for the season, you know, hurting your knee, pulling a muscle or, you know, anything like that. Very dangerous.
That's one of those rules, though, at least in Major League Baseball, that I'm happy that they did something about when it comes to that slide on second base for double plays. What is it, the Chase Utley rule? Is that what it's referred to? After what Chase Utley did?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I'm happy to see that change.
Yeah.
Just because it's all about safety.
Absolutely
It's about keeping the guys out there protected. I know, again, like you said, we didn't get a clear enough shot of it here early in the game.
And you know when it's intentional or not.
You do.
And like I said, we really couldn't see it there. But, you know, you were talking about that Manny Machado play, and I'd seen it. And, you know, they said it really wasn't intentional.
Yeah, it was one of those iffies. It was questionable.
The plays that Pedroia was on the bag, for those who didn't see it, Pedroia was on one side of the bag, and normally if you're sliding into second base, you slide on the closest part of the bag. Like, that's where your foot hits. As you see Drew Evans walking the batter there. But your foot hits the first part of the bag that it comes to. And Manny Machado did make contact with the bag until it reached where Pedroia was. So that's where you kind of like, he didn't slide.
Yeah, you started having questions about the intent.
But it slid into him and never stopped. So, I mean, it could have been one of those things where you just mistimed the slide, or, you know, because that is possible.
That does happen.
That is the thing. But at the same time, you know, you really just don't know. And then, you know, I know they do it out of retaliation, but it's still not good for the game of baseball, what they did after, you know, throwing at Machado when he was at bat. So I'm really glad that there was no retaliation or anything that happened in this game or any future game between the two teams. But I'm definitely glad they handled it more with class. I'm glad that the coach just came out, talked to the umpire, and that was the end of it.
See Evans now, 1 ball, 1 strike on the batter, 1 out. Runner on first base.
That was an interesting point, though.
Well, I just think that there's so many of these weird little unwritten rules.
Absolutely.
A lot of things that I don't really like in professional baseball. I don't like the idea you can't celebrate. You see a watch strike 3 there. Evans now sat down 2 batters in this inning, but you can't celebrate. You can't flip the bat. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't.
I think
you can't look at the pitcher the wrong,
I think it's
the wrong way.
it kind of thing where.
I think there's a difference between disrespect and having fun.
Yeah.
And there is a fine line, and that's the thing that gets me with baseball is too often than not, at least over the course of the past couple of years, it just seems, okay, these guys, they don't want to let the other guy have fun. I mean, for example, if you hit a home run off of somebody, I mean, you just hit a home run off of somebody. Why does the pitcher get to dictate how you act running around the bases, or if you flip the bat?
I think it's.
You just won that battle.
I think it's one of those things that's situational. Like, if you hit a regular home run and you do a crazy bad flip, and that's good.
There's strike 3. And out
that's going to do it.
3,
That's going to do it for the game.
And that is going to be the end of this ball game. Your final score, Southeastern 21, Alcorn State 3. We'll be right back with post-game analysis and highlights. You're watching Southeastern Baseball here on the Southeastern Channel.